Trying to figure out Social Security disability benefits, wow, it can be super confusing, right? You hear these acronyms, SSDI, SSI, and your head starts spinning. But that's okay. That's what we're here for. We're going to give you a clear map breaking down the two main programs so you can see exactly where you might fit in.
So, let's jump right into the big question you're probably asking, SSDI or SSI? Which one is for me? They're both there to help, but they take completely different routes to get there. By the time we're done, you'll have a much better idea of which path is yours. So let's start by meeting the two gatekeepers who decide who gets in. Okay, think of it like this. Each program has a totally different person at the front door. The SSD gatekeeper, they only care about one thing, your work history. They want to see the receipts, you know? They're asking, have you paid your dues? But the SSI gatekeeper, they don't even ask about work. They're looking at your finances right now. Your income, your assets, the whole picture. So let's take a walk down that first path, SSDI. The best way, really, to get your head around SSDI is to think of it as an insurance policy. You know, every time you've gotten a paycheck and seen that FICA tax come out, well, you're basically paying the premium on this disability insurance. And this is the absolute key. SSDI is an earned benefit. Your eligibility lives or dies based on something called work credits, and you get those by working and paying your Social Security taxes over the years. It also means the more you earned, the higher your potential benefit could be.
So how do you actually get these credits? It's pretty simple, really. In 2025, for every $1,810 you earn, boom, you get one work credit. And you can rack up a maximum of 4 of those credits every year.
Okay, but here's a little twist. It's not just about how many credits you have, it's about when you earned them. They have to be recent. The rules actually change depending on your age. So if you're under 24, you'll need 6 credits in the last 3 years. If you're between 24 and 30, you need credits for about half the time since you turned 21, and for pretty much everyone 31 and older, the magic number is 20 credits in the last 10 years.
All right, we've got the insurance path down. Now let's switch gears and check out the second path, SSI. This one isn't an insurance policy. You don't pay into it directly. Think of SSI more like a federal safety net. It's there for folks who have very limited income and resources, and it's funded by general tax dollars.
And here is the single biggest difference. The SSI gatekeeper, they could not care less about your work history. Seriously, you could have never worked a single day and still be eligible. For SSI, it all comes down to just 2 things, your income and your resources, which is just a fancy word for your assets or the stuff you own.
And when we talk about those resource limits, they are strict. I mean, strict. For 2025, if you're single, you can't have more than $2,000 in what they call countable assets. For a couple, it's $3,000. This is the very first financial test you have to pass to get on the SSI path.
Okay, I know what you're thinking. $2,000? That's it? But hold on, because this next part is super important. Not everything you own actually counts toward that limit. The government doesn't count some of your biggest assets, like the house you live in, one car, all your furniture and household stuff, even money you've set aside for burial funds. This makes a huge difference.
Now, when it comes to your income, they don't count every single dollar you make either. They use this special formula. First, they just ignore the first $20 you get from any source. Then, if you're working, they ignore the first $65 you earn. After that, they literally cut what's left in half. So they only count half of the rest. It's designed to let people work a little bit if they can, without losing their benefits.
So we have the insurance path, SSDI, and the safety net path, SSI. But what happens if you're kind of standing right in the middle of those 2 roads? It brings up a question we hear all the time. Can you actually get money from both programs at once?
And the answer is absolutely yes. It's totally possible. When you apply for both SSDI and SSI at the same time, it has an official name. It's called filing a concurrent claim.
So you might be wondering, okay, but why would I do that? Well, it's a really smart move in a couple of key situations. For instance, maybe you've worked enough to get SSDI, but your pay was pretty low, so your SSDI check is going to be small. SSI can come in and add to it. Or maybe you're just not sure if you have enough work credits. Filing for both lets SSI act as a financial backstop while you wait for the SSDI decision.
All right, we've walked down both paths, and we've even seen how you can walk them together. So now, let's bring it all home. Let's create a super clear, simple map you can use to figure out your very next move.
Seriously, if you take just one thing away from all this, let it be this.
The entire process, your whole decision, it all boils down to one single question. Forget everything else for a second and just ask yourself this. Based on your age, have you worked enough and recently enough to pass that SSDI work credit test?
And your answer to that one question, it's like a fork in the road. It tells you exactly which way to turn first. If your answer is yes, then your main path, your starting point, is SSDI. Your work history is the key to that door. But if the answer is no, then your work history just doesn't matter for this. Your focus shifts completely to the other path, SSI, where your financial situation is the only key you need.
So what do you do now? Here's your game plan, broken down into 3 easy steps. Step 1. Confirm your work credits. Get a good estimate and see if you pass the test for SSDI. Step 2. Check your resources. Do a quick rundown of your assets and see if you fall under that SSI limit. And Step 3. Consider both. If you think you're good for SSDI but your payment might be on the low side, remember that filing for both is a really powerful option.
Look, I know this system is complicated, but figuring out where to start, that doesn't have to be. You now understand the 2 main paths. You've really taken the biggest and hardest step toward getting some clarity. So the only question left is, which one of these paths are you going to start looking down today?